Joining me now, Kris Kobach, former Kansas Secretary of State, and he's currently the General Counsel for the Alliance for Free Citizens. Kris, CRT, I feel like they're just going to try to repackage it now, but I think it's wonderful we're out there exposing how poisonous and widespread this is throughout American schools.
Yeah, the schools want us to talk about the COVID infection infecting children, but what they don't want us to talk about is the infection of CRT, which is an insidious virus that they are promoting and teaching. And we have to protect our kids. And as many of your listeners and viewers know, there are some brave school boards out there that are trying to stop it within their districts. But the vast majority of school boards are either controlled by people on the left or they just don't have the backbone to do anything. And so that's why I think if people want to fight back, the best way to do it is through the state legislatures. 3/4 of the state legislatures are not in session right now. They start in January, then they end, depending on the state, between March and July. But come January, it's really important to get the state legislatures geared up to stop this insidious teaching in our schools. And we have a bill at the Alliance for Free Citizens, and you can go to it at www.allianceforfreecitizens.org, all spelled out. And you'll see it there. If you scroll down to the bottom of the front page, there's a model legislation that you can email to your legislators, send to your legislator, and they can put it in the hopper and get it started. And then you gotta call them and you gotta say, is this bill passing? When's the committee hearing? But the bill is pretty simple. It says that no state entity, so that would educational entity, whether it be a public school or a university, shall teach that one race is inherently superior to another. Gee, that's pretty radical, isn't it? And no school shall teach that one person, because of his skin color, is an oppressor or is oppressed. It's very basic stuff. It's not like it's dramatically restricting what teachers can say. It's just saying don't tell kids that because of their skin color they should be judged. Contrary to it's basically Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech about not judging people according to their skin color, and it's astonishing that we have to even say this to compel teachers not to teach the opposite.
Kris, are parents starting to wake up to how insidious it really is? I have this video. I'm playing this video of a dad in Colorado, and he seems fired up. Are enough parents fired up? Here's this video.
Putting critical race theory into our classrooms is taking our nation in the wrong direction. Racism in America would by and large be dead today if it were not for certain people and institutions keeping it on life support. And sadly, very sadly, one of those institutions is the American education system. I can think of nothing more damaging to a society than to tell a baby born today that she has grievances against another baby born today simply because of what their ancestors may have done 2 centuries ago. Putting critical race theory into our classrooms is not combating racism, it's fanning the flames of what little embers are left. I encourage you to support this resolution. Let racism die the death it deserves.
Kris,
yeah.
Why do they love it so much? Explain why they love it so much, because I've never been able to work through this. Why do schools, specifically teachers' unions, who you brought up earlier, why would they love it? And I've never been a teachers' union fan. I think they're disgusting, money grabbers. They've ruined education. Everything bad you can talk about teachers' unions, I would agree with. But specifically critical race theory, what a weird thing for them to love, unless I'm missing something.
Well, there are lots of theories as to those of us who have common sense and believe that history, the objective truth of history should be taught, what happened, when it happened, and let people argue about why it happened. We don't teach the why to children and teach it in a way that is so skewed and clearly false that everything about America is racist, and therefore you, the student, are a racist if you don't acknowledge that you are an oppressor. I mean, it's just insane. So my view is that this is part of, it's just one of several parts of how the educational establishment wants to teach that America is a bad place, We are not a nation that is that is singularly blessed and is something special in the world. On the contrary, it's about teaching children to hate the United States. That undermines the institutions in the United States. It causes all kinds of things. It makes it easier for ideas like Marxism and socialism to take hold, and scrapping the Constitution with its pesky First Amendment and pesky Second Amendment. It undermines our belief in our American system that the founding fathers gave us. So I think there are a lot of educators who, that's their ultimate aim. Who knows? Others, they may like the racist tone of, because there's clearly many racists on the left who like CRT because it confirms and teaches their form of racism.
Is this the most awake you've ever seen parents in America?
Yeah, it is, because they're getting hit. Their kids are getting hit with two different things. They're getting hit with various forms of mandates attached to COVID, and they're getting hit with critical race theory. It's extraordinary. And I think the other reason why parents are awake is during 2020, many schools did go to virtual learning, and many parents suddenly were in the same room with their kids when they were, being lectured to by a teacher over the computer screen. And I think it gave parents a window into what their kids are actually learning.
Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.